Tell me about lighting.
Well, there's LED lighting and there's LED lighting. Let me tell you a little bit about LED globes and how they work. Firstly, here's a typical LED globe. This one here. It's got a large heatsink on it to draw the heat away from the little LED chip inside here. It's got 3 LED chips. The white LED was developed in about 2006, so it's a pretty new invention in the scheme of things, about 8 years. And it was developed by a guy who discovered that a little element called yttrium, which is a very rare earth mineral, was possible to create white light. So he developed this white light LED, and then all of a sudden the market started to boom. So there's a few things that make up a white LED globe. You've got a little LED chip, you've got, in some cases, a lens to focus the light, and a good heatsink, and you've got a power supply in here which converts the power coming in to the right voltage to suit the LED chip. This particular one here is 9 watts. It's 3 watts per chip, and then a nice big heatsink to draw the heat away to keep the chip cool. Typically LED chips can work at over 100 degrees Celsius. You don't want them to be hot because they don't last as long. So the bigger the heatsink, the better. So when someone tries to sell you an LED globe with a really small heatsink, saying it's great, it's probably not as good as one with a big heatsink. It's a tip of the day. Some other people thought, well, that's really great, but that one there doesn't fit in all my downlight fittings, so. And they developed another one like this. Looks like the glass ones that you're used to seeing. It's got nice glass surround working as a heatsink. It's got more LED chips on there than 3, so there's less energy per chip. This one here is a 240 volt one, which is this little GU10 socket. This is an old MR16 globe, which is the snake eye ones. You might have seen them a lot. They last about 2,000 hours and start going dim and burn 50 watts of energy. The equivalent one here draws about 6 watts of energy, maybe even 8 or 9 watts depending on how bright you want it. Other types of LED globes could be a standard GLS globe. This one here's got the small Edison screw. I think it's called E14. You can get E27, which is the fatter one, which has been around for 100 years. You can get bayonet, which you push and turn, and you can get small bayonet, and there's a whole bunch of other types you can get as well. You can have cool white and you can have warm white. A cool white globe is producing light around about the same colour as you'd expect to see in the middle of the day. A warm white globe is more a dusk globe or a dawn globe. Some people like warm white. This is kind of a warm white colour over here. Because they're used to it is the main reason. They're used to it because all the old style globes, the tungsten filament type globes or the standard GLS globes that you've had for 50 years, all made of a yellowy sort of colour, and you got used to it. Most people find that once they get the cool white globes installed, they actually don't want to go back to the warm white because the cool white's a much nicer, crisper light, like the light in this room right now. These globes over here are a bit more intelligent than the standard globes. They've got a Wi-Fi chip in them that we can talk to and tell them what colour to be. So let me just show you how that works. In this case we're running a bit of software. I'll show you here. We can change the colour of some globes here. So we're just playing it there. So we're making it green, we can make it red, okay? So it's pretty cool. You can make your house go into party mode, you can make them play to music, you can do all kinds of clever things by just downloading software apps for them. Something really clever that Yoss developed for me, which I absolutely love, I'm going to show that to you now, is the talking globe. So instead of trying to control the colour with your finger, why don't you just tell it what colour you want it to be? So this one in the middle here I think is set up to be told what to do. I'll just try it now. Magenta. Hey, how's that for cool? Let's try it again. Red. Hey, red it is. Okay, let's try blue. Blue. Hey, it worked. Okay, so these chips can change colour in the same way your television, your old tube television used to work, which had an R, G and a B chip in them, red, green and blue, and by mixing certain amounts of those colours you can get any colour you want in the rainbow. So these are Philips globes, and we can use those to be controlled by our smart software. This one over here is a high bay light, which is what you'd normally find in a warehouse. It's a bit different to a normal high bay light. The high bay lights you normally have in warehouses are about 400 watts of power consumption, and they produce about 20,000 lumens of light. This one here is only 120 watts and produces nearly the same amount of light, so it's about a third of the energy consumed. The other benefit of an LED is that they last much longer and they don't fade as quickly. High bay metal halide light starts to lose performance the day you install it, and by the time it blows it falls down to about 60% of its brightness. Not very good in the warehouse, not very safe, but it's all we've had until now. These LEDs last about 50,000 hours compared to 5,000 for a metal halide. So much longer life, but also they don't die as quickly. This one here I've got set up as well. I'm going to turn it on in a minute, it's very bright. So watch your eyes. And here we go. It's very bright. Well, it's not so bright. The reason it's not so bright is because I've got a dimmer on it. It's the other thing I can do with one of these lights. I can dim it, whereas I can't do that with a metal halide. I'm going to brighten it up now. How's that look cool? See? Okay, so these bright white LEDs are really good for lighting up areas, but the beauty of having a dimmer on them is we can dim them down when you don't need so much light and save a lot of electricity, which you can't do with a normal LED, a normal high bay light. So there's a bit of a range of lights there. We've got high bay LED with cool white. We've got Philips globes which we can control by Wi-Fi and by a normal light switch as well. And we've got some downlight replacements with cool white and warm white. And we've got standard GLS globes that we can use as well. So whether you're retrofitting or whether you're building a new house, it's just a question of getting the right advice on the right type of light and the right colour and buying good quality. If you buy cheap, you buy twice. So we recommend that you buy lights with good heat sinks and really good quality power supplies, made by somebody who knows what they're doing. The cheapest LED globes are often not the best. So there's my advice for you on LED lighting.